shut it down. In here, and this is something very special. We're the only company that was actually, now that everybody is filming, I cannot even say this because I'm such a shy person. It was my idea to put an electric pump as a pre-charge pump. It has the big advantage that you can run the pre-charge pump before the main pump starts, so you never run dry. That's very good for the main pump. So the first thing when we switch the control on is that this pre-charge pump will run until we have about 3 bar. Then it will wait another couple seconds, and then it will start the engine, and with that the main pump. So from this pre-charge pump we go into a filter. It's a stainless steel housing and a 5 micron filter. We have a little breather in here so that the air is being pushed out. From there we go into the lower side of the pump. As you know, the lower side is the low pressure side. So here we go in and we have a sensor, a low pressure sensor that should be sitting somewhere here. So that's the little hose going to the manometer and also to a pressure switch that is set to around 3 bar. Then we go into the pump. In the pump we take some water in front of the pump, and we go to clean the pump, to cool the pump here, and also the oil of the pump. So this is a heat exchanger over there that cools the oil, and this here is the plunger cooling for the pump. From there we go into this valve, and we also have a safety valve here. So this is an air valve. The reason for everything that is bigger than 1000 bar, if you would have a valve in the gun, it would be a huge gun and it would be hard on the hoses. So we have a pneumatic valve that is switching, and in the gun we only have a sensor and a cable that transmits the signal. That's basically it for the water. You see something strange here that only we have. That's our antifreeze system. How that works? You have 3 positions. One position is like at the moment it's for spraying. Then the up position is to let the antifreeze into our tank. In the tank we have a lower, smaller portion of the tank that is being filled up with the antifreeze. Then we can start the pump, cycle it, and put it into back pumping mode, and with that it's being pumped back into that container.
Do you have any possibility of filling that into the 350 and the 500?
Not yet, but thinking about it.
Yeah, Kim asked me to ask
raise
you.
it. Okay. It's not on the machine right now.
It's a good idea.
In the future it might be. Okay, that's the water system. When it comes to pneumatic, we have an air compressor, we have an air vessel over there. We have a little valve that is opening, and this valve is pushing this big valve down here. We can check the pressure on this little port. This is a quick release, so once there's no pressure from the pump side or from the compressor side, it will open quickly, so the air can be released here instead of somewhere in this valve or going back somewhere. So it's a quick release here. Special things, I already explained the safety with those straps. We have a quick coupling. The quick coupling works in a way that you have a groove here, and that the coupling goes into that groove, and when this is closed, so I can take this out real quick, there's a sealing in here, so you put this on, pull it out a little bit. If you have 2800 bar, it will push it out even further, so it will be locked. And the more pressure you have, the more locked it is.
That's a clever system, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
So the cable is mainly to control.
Only to control the valve. Oh. So that's the engine. It's a 4-cylinder engine, 5.8 liters displacement, I think. We have a direct coupling to the pump, a soft coupling. On the pump we have a little oil pump. We have pressurized oil to cool and to grease the pump while it's running. We have a sensor in the pump for the temperature and a sensor for the oil pressure. Let's go on the other side and I tell you something about the control. If you look inside the control box, there's not much in there. Only one relay. This relay switches on and off the electric water pump. Everything else is controlled. This display is a controller. Those two are input-output modules, and the big one also has a controller in there. So all the safety functions are calculated by both units and then compared. This way we get safety because we have two units that compare what they calculate. This is the connection port for the external e-stop, and so very simple electric box. Start it up. So first of all, we have 3 cover switches on those doors. So whenever the door is open, this service mode comes up. When it's closed, you can work. When you open it up again, no matter which door you open up, this comes back on. You just have to put in a code and you can work with the machine. This is for service personnel, so that you can work with 3 open hoods and you don't need 3 big magnets to shortcut this. Okay? On the display we have a main dial and a secondary dial. If we are in pressure mode, where we select the pressure and the machine will run the RPM so that it reaches this pressure automatically. This will be the big dial and this will be the small dial. If we go to RPM mode, it will change around, so the RPM is the main. Let me switch this to English real quick. So the current RPM and the current bar, and also the target RPM and the target bar. Here we see liters per minute. That is just calculated from the RPM. We know how many liters we have. That's the gauge for the diesel fuel. We have several modes. We have the pressure mode, we have the RPM mode, we have an anti-freeze mode, a hose flushing mode, and the dump gun mode.
Is this running on AdBlue? So
yes.
Do you have a warning for that?
Yes.
When it's running dry?
That's the AdBlue tank, 25 liter AdBlue tank. We have. Let's go through this through all the components of the. Or let's go back first and explain real quick what those are. So pressure mode, I explained already. You select the pressure. The machine, the first time it starts, it will go very slowly to the point where it reaches the pressure, and then it will keep this value when you let go of the gun and it goes back to idle speed and you push the gun again, it will ramp up as quick as it can. So once it has this first introduction to the nozzle, we call it teach in. So then we will show here teach in complete. So you will have a green light. About the colors, if it's white, everything's fine. If it's yellow, it says it's not an error, but it's a warning or a message is going on. We will see this when we start the machine. The air tank will be empty, for example. This means it's not an error, but we cannot work until it's fixed. Or if the diesel fuel is almost empty, it will say yellow, or if the blue is almost empty. And you can see it from far away. You can see the whole thing is red or yellow. If it's red, you don't need to see it because the engine is off. RPM mode, there you select just the RPM. It's with some rotating nozzles and things like that, it can be that it's hard for the machine to get the teach-in done or things like that. Then you use the RPM mode. Anti-freeze mode is the machine is only running in idle speed to pump up, and you cannot push. If you push the gun, nothing will happen. Just a safe mode to do the anti-freeze. Then we have hose flushing mode. There you can actuate the gun, but still you cannot go into high RPM. This is for cleaning the hoses. When you start up the machine, you should put all the hoses on and run the machine without a nozzle, just to get the hoses clean. It also has the second benefit that the hoses then are filled with water. If you work with the UHP and you have 200 meters of hoses, start up the machine, you push the gun, all the hoses are empty. So there's a wave of water running through those hoses, and at one point of time it will hit the nozzle, because the air can go through the nozzle pretty easily, but the water can't. So once it hits the nozzle, the RPM, this is critical for machines that have an RPM mode, because the RPM is ramping up and up. It could be, for this machine, we are running the machine with the hand operation, not on full RPM. We are running it on 3/4 or something of the full RPM. So, or 2/3 of the full RPM. So when you push the gun and you have air in the system, it will ramp up to, and it will see, okay, still not reached, where is no pressure coming back because we have only air. It will be at full RPM, then it hits the nozzle, and then you have a pressure peak and the safety valve is coming. To prevent that, we have the hose flushing mode, that we flush the hoses, we have water in the lines, we connect the gun, and everything's fine. The different, we have 8 different fields here that we can select. We have engine arrows, for example. The arrows of the Volvo engine will be distributed. We see the fill level and some input information. We have a 2-channel e-stop. The e-stop is shown as both active at the moment, so the e-stop is fine. We go to pump IOs. We see the trigger signal. We see a lot of signals. Are they on or off? This is very good for troubleshooting, because we show, for example, let's take the pressure sensor. High pressure sensor is pressure sensor. High pressure transducer is B105. It shows B105 here. And it says B105 here, and it says B105 on the electric schematic. This is very good for troubleshooting. Error log. The error log shows what kind of errors have been happening and how long that is ago. So we have error 11, that's open hood. We just had elapsed time 0 hours. So today we had this error. Yesterday we had error 60 and error 45 28 hours ago. So it was yesterday morning that somebody was playing around with the machine and created some errors to show how the machine is functioning. We can scroll through that for 3 pages. We also have a fault history. Here we have all the faults that the machine can produce with the long text and how often during the life of the machine they have happened. Let's take, for example, and this is the one that I'm always using to show how the machine works. E80 is HP sensor, a high pressure sensor. This happens 17 times in the life of the machine. I take the sensor off. The machine will go into a red arrow right away, and it would stop if it would be running. We go into the fault history and we see that this is at 18.
18. And then you have the date as well?
No.
No, just
because you would have 18 dates. We only know that it happened this often. If it's only like 5 pages, if you rent out the machine, I would recommend to just take your cell phone and make screenshots, and you see what happened. But you also have the fault history of the last 30 errors, when they happened and what happened, and what pressure. So you have both. Display options, here you can adjust the language.
I would like to see it in Danish.
We don't have Danish.
Icelandic?
Not yet.
Persian?
Persian? No. English, French, Spanish, Czech, German. Okay. We have...
It's not useful for none of us.
This is the RPM delay time. When you hold the trigger and you let go. We learned at our MD units we have 20 seconds. It's fixed, it's always the same. Here, if you do hose bundle cleaning, you want to have this high value. You can also set it to infinite. Then it will never shut off. Or you want to clean somewhere and you want to save fuel and you want to have it off all the time, you let go, then you can put it to 2 seconds. Let's put it to 10 seconds so that we can see something happening when we let go, when we start again. Yes?
Could you go a little bit over the plungers are changeable if you want to use different flow? Or
not for the customer, really. I mean, with this machine, because it's a diesel machine with a lot of power, we have a broad range of flow. I mean, we have 27 liters. If you run it with 2000 bar and the correct nozzle, you can still have the full power that you can hold in your hands. So for all handheld operations, starting from 1000 bar, this is always enough. So you, with 27 liters and 2800 bar, you cannot operate it to hold it in your hands. So it's very flexible in itself. If you want to have a lot more flow, we can have an 800 bar with 80 liters. Then you need that. There you even need more because we have a different tank setup and things like that. But for 2000 and 2800, we would have to check if we leave. You also need to change the software. So it's nothing that the customer would do. So you can select it in the catalog which one you want, but it's not like a quick change. The quick change is just selecting a different pressure and having a big nozzle, because the machine can do a lot.
so in this machine it's same principle as with all the others. You just make bigger nozzle.
You make bigger nozzle, but here you have so much power and so much possible flow that you can also with 2000 bar have enough flow that it will blow you off. So you can have the maximum flow within a range of 1000 to 2800 bar. Okay, what else do we have? We have system hours. It shows the engine hours, pump hours. Whenever you pull the trigger, it will start to count. When you let go of the trigger, it will stop. And this is the amount, how often the trigger has been pulled during the life of the machine and during the last operation. Those last 2 hours and 8 pump hours you can reset. If you start the day and you want to see later, or you start the week and you want to see how long did I work on this job. Then we have conditions, current conditions, oil temperature of the engine, cooling water temperature of the engine, urea level of the engine, fuel, diesel fuel level, and this is just the CAN bus connection to the engine and to the other modules inside, okay, and the battery voltage. Then you can select here the pre-charge pump. Is an electric pre-charge pump, so you can start it. Now it runs. Or you can say it's off. You have a strong power source from the outside and you have some things that are broken and you don't want to have the pump running, you can shortcut it, and you don't need to shortcut the wires, you can just switch it off. Automatic means whenever you need the pre-charge pump, so whenever you want to start the machine, it will automatically start. Let's fire it up.
Yeah.
Who wants to be on the gun?
Do you want to try?
Yes, I will try, but after you.
There's a helmet, there's the red stuff. Take care of your shoes, please. Stay away from your feet with the gun. I will. So when I start up the machine, you will see that first it runs and the pump runs, and then the rest starts. So let me show. Just push start, and the pre-charge pump already runs for a while. And when you have 3 bar, then the engine starts.